Okay, time for some Qigong. Thursday, August 13th. Beautiful day for some Qigong. We'll do some warm-ups and then cover off on some movement detail and then do the form together. So to start out, warm-ups, doing the waist rotations. And the waist is at the belly button or above the belly button, that area. And the feet are planted and still, top of the head open to the sky. Also still, movement happening in the middle. And then massaging up and down, left and right, and waist rotations the other direction. And the waist that we're rotating around in this movement, this warm-up we'll be using in the movements that we're learning today, the pushing and setting the wings and then flipping Hugu. When we flip Hugu around, it's dragging through the Dai meridian that goes around the waist here. Then palm over palm, lagong over lagong into the chest and massage. Sutra chant is on top and massage in the other direction. Then hip rotations. So feet shoulder wide, parallel to each other. And the circle or orbit is happening lower, around the height of Huan Tiao. And Huan Tiao is where the fingers or palms are as we make these rotations. Then massaging Huan Tiao and lower back. And other direction, the hip rotations. Going as far forward, to the left, back, to the right. Same distance in each one of those directions, and then same distance from center as we go between each of those. Then bringing palm over palm into lower dantian, massaging. Switching which hand is on top and massaging the other direction. And when I say palm over palm, it's really focused on lagong, that point that we massage a little bit later on, and that gets referenced throughout the form. Those the palms coming together is stacking the lagongs on top of each other for extra chi giving, and also for the mechanical alignment. It keeps the keeping the hands together makes everything else explore a fuller range of motion. And feet together for knee rotations, resting the hands lightly on the knees, keeping the back straight, eyes are out on the floor, somewhere in front of you. Then massaging the insides of the knees, down on the inside, up on the outside. And knee rotations the other direction. And massaging down on the outside, up on the inside of the knees. Then for second round, doing a variation, can go lower and let the heels come up, can let the hands rest higher up on the thighs and without bending over, still do knee rotations, making circles with the knees. Then massaging down the legs. And knee rotations other direction. And massaging up the insides of the legs. Feet back together for arm rotations. Eyes following the hands. The outside as they push away and come back into upper dantian, and then mind following through upper, middle, lower dantian on the way down close to your body. Then pushing up, extending through the front of the body, eyes up towards the hands. Relaxing and coming back up. Relax and up again. Relaxing up to the right, so letting the left side of the body open up and expand. Relaxing, coming back up. Relaxing again, coming up, letting the expansion happen through the whole left side of the body, so no one part of it is more kinked or extended than another. All of them, all through the wrist and elbow, shoulder, ribs, hip, knee, ankle, and back to center. Then up to the left, letting the right side expand, open up, and all the way down from the wrist through the elbow, shoulder, ribs, hip, knee, ankle, and back to center, and then to the left again, opening up from the bottom down, ankle, knee, hip, ribs, shoulder, elbow, wrist, and back to center. Then doing the arm rotations towards the floor. And if you're modifying this so that you're not leaning as far over, the idea is just to take the fold at on at the hip joints, and letting that come forward a little bit, not losing your balance, but whereas previously we were entirely upright doing the arm rotations, having some forward inclination, and still doing the arm rotations, connecting through the floor, back up to upper dantian, and the sensation of coming down the front of the body through lower dantian and then through the legs into the floor, coming back up to the upper dantian is similar in the form when we do the opening and we're dragging the fingers through the floor. Similar thing here, we're coming up from the floor, connecting this large circle as we do those rotations. And also always maintaining the stack of lower, middle, and upper dantian. And then pushing down in front from upper dantian, outside the left foot, outside the right foot. Then can look for extension, holding the elbows. And the modification here of not going so low also pertains to one of the movements that we're doing today, pushing and setting the wings. When you're pushing the wings, there's a tendency for people to lean forward. I'll get more into that detail, but there's connections everywhere. See, now to get ready for chin to toe, holding the shoe kidney points and kicking out through the heel, holding the shoe kidney points for stability, and letting the foot come down softly with each kick. Softly and quietly. And then kicking with the toes. Down the top of the leg. And then we're ready for chin to toe. So, right leg out at an angle, aligning the torso, grasping elbows, folding from the hua. And as we fold, exploring where that fold feels good, and letting the back be extended, top of bai hui, open, leg, back of the leg is opened up, and 10 fingers into the ground. And then massaging the leg. Can bend the leg to get more of the, all the way down to the joints, the ankle joint, and patting down the leg. And minding the back on the way up and walking it off. And over to the left, lining the torso, grasping elbows, and again looking for richness and insight in where the fold, the range of the fold, rather than looking for just bending over and getting to the limit of being folded. Explore inside of your range of motion, which going through that spectrum offers a lot of variety for how this can feel. And then reaching for 10 fingers into the ground. And massage. Then pat down the leg. Landing the back on the way up and walk it off. Back over to the right, lining torso, this time 6 fingers, 3 on each hand, folding and chin aligned to toe, regardless of how low you're going, or as you're exploring. Chin is aligned to toe, eyes are looking into the floor, fingers are into the floor. Tongue is touching lightly behind the teeth, filling the whole palate. And then 2 fingers on each hand. And grasping toe. And massage. And pats down the leg. Finding the back on the way up and walking it off. And over to the left again. 6 fingers, 3 on each hand, folding over. And always letting the fold come from the hip. And with these and any other stretching, the medical advice is to hold any stretch for about 30 seconds and not to overdo it. And that's where the searching in the extension comes from, is not going as hard as you possibly can, which can bring injury, but to just allow there to be openness and extension, even if it's not at the absolute maximum limit. And then 2 fingers, 1 on each hand. And each of these I usually hold for about 10 seconds to get to that 30 seconds. So the 3 fingers, 2 fingers, toe, holding the toe, so that they add up to about 30 seconds. Then massage and patting. And minding the back on the way up, walking it off. And then another round of kicks now that we've opened up the back of the legs, first with the heels, and coming down softly with the foot. And for getting to the 30 seconds, I usually don't count to 30 seconds in my head, but I hold each one of those and the stretches towards the sky earlier, just for a few breaths, is a gentler way to count it, but to make sure that gets some time in there towards 30 seconds. And counting by your breath is Nice too because it reminds you to breathe while you're in an extension. And then kicking with the toe down the top of the leg. And then we'll do the pretzel move. So feet together and right hand over the left shoulder, left hand in front of the face, looking to the right, palms all going, aligned to the ears, and doesn't matter where exactly on the ear those palms are pointed, but the idea is making a connection there. The exact spot doesn't matter so much since the ear represents the whole body. It can be different parts of the body need tension different days, so wherever the palms happen to align. Relaxing, and then bring the left hand over the right shoulder, right hand in front of the face, looking left. Relaxing, and back to the right hand over left shoulder, left hand in front of the face, look right. Relax, and left hand over right shoulder, right hand in front of the face, look left. Tongue touching lightly, breathing naturally. Relax, and doing some slapping massage or patting massage, landing on the corner of the shoulder and under the arm. Then we'll do some arm rotations, so bending the left leg and letting the right leg extend, lining the torso to the bent leg, having the left hand on the left thigh and coming up the front and down the back. And switching direction up the back, down the front. Turning around down the heels, and then the left arm is coming up the front, down the back. And up the back, down the front. Then slapping massage across the top of the shoulder and across the back. Pivoting on the heels to turn around, and another set of massage. Then bringing the feet together and massaging the back, circles around the shu kidney points. Then Da Bao, which is about halfway in between your Huan-Tiao and the armpits, so halfway up the body and then halfway in the front and back on the ribs there. Then lymph nodes, lower lymph nodes, and chest a little bit off center, going from the center across the collarbone, letting the shoulder relax. Other side. Then massaging the shoulder, getting all the scapula and getting some pats in there. Other side. Pats. Then brushing from the tips of the fingers past the shoulder. Arm parallel to the ground for this, and it can come across the body to help you get the very tips of the fingers and the tip of the thumb, flipping the arm over and coming down the inside. And other arm, tips of the fingers, past the wrist, past the elbow, past the shoulder. Turning it over and brushing down. Shaking out the fingers and the hands and the wrists, elbows, shoulders, everything. And then we'll do the fingertip to fingertip through the webbing of the fingers past the wrist, and again being sure to get the thumb in there so that after all the fingers connect, and even as you go over the webbing, then the thumbs connect and get the webbing of the thumb, and then we're past the wrist. And keeping the eyes on the fingers as you're massaging, maintaining focus, switching which hand is doing the massaging. And then massaging Laogong, the palm, so bring the middle finger into the crease of the hand, and it's in between the space in between those bones in the hand of the middle finger and the pointer finger. And you can massage on the outside as well as the inside, since you're looking for a hollow can connect through the hand as you're massaging. And then spreading the warmth from Laogong through the hand, and then out to the ends of the fingers, returning to Laogong each time. Other side. And spreading from Laogong to the ends of the fingers. Warming up the hands a little more with friction if they aren't warm already. And then we'll massage the back of the neck. Other side. Then massaging from the collarbone past the chin. And other side. Then massage temple, between the corner of the eye, top of the ear. And in the orbit of the eye, brightest point in the divot of the orbit of the eye. Corner of the nose. And mouth, forming a V with the fingers and getting both corners of the mouth. Right side. And then we'll do the ears. Getting all the whorls. And forming a V with the fingers again and brushing up the cheek. On either side of the ear, front and back. Then drums of heaven, placing the palms over the ears and drumming with the fingers. And then washing face, comb hair. Tired chi. Stale chi. Sick chi. Unnecessary chi. Just getting rid of all that before gathering to ourselves. Then onto one leg stand, letting all the weight come through left leg, spreading the toes, letting the left knee bend a little bit, and then after the weight is entirely in that leg, letting the right leg play, do heel toe. Just rotate the ankle and lift the leg. And bring the foot down gently, even brushing the floor before transferring the weight over, noting where it's about 50-50 and then where the weight becomes fully committed to the right leg. Letting the left leg be free to play with the ankle and toe, heel toe, and lift the leg. And as the foot comes down, feeling for the floor, sensitivity, coming into contact with the floor, and then letting the weight transfer over gradually until the left leg is bearing weight again, and then the right is free to play wherever you like. And right leg comes down, finds the ground, can sweep around. Sensitivity before weight transfer. Left leg is free. Left leg comes down, finds the ground, gradual weight transfer, and then we'll find extension through the inside of the leg, bending the left, having the right leg straight, reaching out through the fingers of the right hand. Left hand can support you on the thigh, can come up and form a claw, the relaxed shoulder. Eyes are following the right hand down into the ground. And switching sides, extending the left, can support the right, can form a claw with the right, eyes coming down the left hand and arm, looking into the ground. back to center and massaging up the insides of the legs. And then get some walking kicks in, so protecting the back, should kidney points, kicking with the heels. So you walk in a circle. Then on the top of the leg through the toes. And top of the foot across the Achilles tendon. And walking meditation, gathering into lower dantian. Okay. And do a bow to transition into the movement details. So through warm-ups, plenty warm, time for some details. This week we're doing 4 through 7, which is a repetition. 4 is the same as 6 and 5 is the same as 7. We're going to push and set the wings and then drag Hugu around the waist. Before going through that, I'll review. Last week we did first the close and then just 1 through 3. So the closes first. I'll do it to the side because when we're doing it together, I'm always facing the camera. So just for some variety, I'll do it to the side here. And you're finding 0. This is, no matter if you're jumping into the middle of the form or just practicing a single movement or just looking for a moving meditation to integrate into your day, zeroing out, normalizing, finding that dynamic center, both forward, back, left, right, up and down between the thigh hood, the top of the head, and the feet fully on the floor, toes spread. And to close, all we do is wherever our arms are at, letting them find their way to upper dantian at the forehead and down the front of the body, not actually touching, coming through middle dantian, transitioning gradually into lower dantian till the fingers are pointing all the way down towards the floor, and the mind's eye, the focus can also move down through the legs, following the fingers through the feet into the floor. And then hands come to the side and the legs come together. And then continuing on with walking meditation or whatever you're up to in your day before you do that quick meditation. And then to go through movements 1 through 3, and I'll go through movements 1 through 3, then I'll go through 4 through 7 from the side, and then look at some theory stuff, and then I'll demonstrate it again from the front, and then we can do the form. So, start of the form, and also the end of the form, zeroing out, tongue touching lightly on the palate, eyes soft, and we begin bending from the hua, hands coming back, pointing at the Huantiao and coming down the legs. Palms are dragging down the legs till the fingers are pointing into the floor, and then the fingers drag through the floor as we rise up, coming back to a totally upright position. And the palms open at angles, and we open the arms with the roundness to them, to the sky, and looking up. And the head come back a little bit, but it's not letting the head just fall back, but just letting the neck open up. There's a point on the neck, just opening that up. Coming up off the heels and then coming down on the heels, closing the wings, the eyes return to the horizon, and the hands find a natural arc down to lower dantian. And then to continue on to movement number 4, the new movement for today, the hands from this place where they're giving to lower dantian just come up to middle dantian, giving to middle dantian, and the elbows drop and the hands are facing each other. And then the eyes are looking in between the hands, and there's a sensitivity between the hands. They're aware of each other as the fingers lead the way out. So the idea there is that the motion isn't coming from the shoulders and elbows, but the fingers are, with their sensitivity, just leading the way, and then the wrist, elbow, shoulder are along for the ride, and where they can't go any further, kind of at the edge of the extension, if you're still looking for some more expansion, bending slightly from the hua around Huantiao, the hip pivot, and coming forward just the tiniest bit, turning the arms over, and as we set the wings, the claw forms and lands on the shu kidney points. Hugu is touching the shu kidney points. And then we drag around the waist, the dime meridian, and expel. So the elbows actually come in and shake the body a bit there. And then the palms just come up to middle dantian. Again, this is for 6. Hands face each other, eyes watch as the hands come out, fingers leading the way, finding that edge of extension, turning the arms over to set the wings, forming claw, and can come up off the heels. And then before dragging around the waist, releasing the claw, Hugu drags it around the waist and expel. Then the palms come back to middle dantian, and we'll close there. So some details there. There's a lot going on, especially if you're new. The claw is something where the thumb connects with the crease of the middle finger, the first crease from the end of the middle finger. Those two things connect, and then the rest of the fingers just wrap around that point, and there's empty space in there. It's soft, and it's like when we're doing the grasping chi and we form a loose fist. It's that same kind of feeling of just feeling the viscosity of air and atmosphere and gently grappling it. And then that's the same claw that we'll use throughout the form, so that softness can just practice that and play with that. And when we're doing the claw as well, the wrist remains straight even though the fingers are folding over. The wrist is straight as we do that, which allows for good good chi flow through the forearm. And then Hugu, mentioning Hugu. Sometimes we'll massage this during the warm-ups, but it's this in this lump between the thumb and the rest of the hand. If you bring your thumb in, this mound comes up, and it's in that mound. You can start from the highest point of the mound. Generally, it's not too hard to find a sensitive point in there. That's Hugu, and that, besides Lao Gong, gets referenced throughout the form as something that gets aligned with things. So as we're dragging around the waist, it's that Hugu that's doing the dragging. And the waist, the dimeridian, if you look up what that dimeridian looks like, it's not just a totally even circle around the waist. There's a little bit of a curvature to it as it goes through the points on all the meridians through the waist. But the interesting thing about it as an extraordinary meridian is that it encapsulates all the other meridians. So all the meridians are coming up and down the body, and that's the same for your nervous system and all the other systems for blood and moving everything else through the body. It's all coming up and down through your torso. And the dimeridian intersects all of that, so it's good for regulating it. And when we're doing the expelling, it's getting everything in the body, full body cleansing. Let's see, any other details? I think that's probably enough details. I'll do it once more facing the camera, talking through it, see if any other insights come out, and then we can do the form together. So I'll skip. I won't do 1 through 3, what we covered last week. Don't need to go through that review again, and just come to where we've closed the wings, giving to lower dantian. Fingers are evenly spread, thumbs are open, tiger's mouth with the thumbs. And then coming up from lower to middle dantian, letting the elbows drop and the hands face each other. Eyes on the space between the hands, fingers lead the way out. Folding, turning the arms over. Forming the claw and setting the wings, and then opening the claw and drag and expel. Hands back up to chest, hands face each other, eyes between them. Edge of extension, set the wings, and expel. Coming back to chest and close. So another thing that came to mind is going through at that time is as we come down on the heels, the whole body kind of shakes, and that informs the shaking and the rest of the form that happens later as we're actually flapping and fluttering about. That shaking is actually coming from the core, and when we come down on the heels and we come in with the elbows, that is causing a vibration in the body that shakes things up. So even though it's more of an internal shake, it's kind of the first time in the form that we shake. And that's something that is, I find it enjoyable, but just letting things be loose and open helps a lot with enjoying that softness of the form. The same softness that is happening as we bring the claws together is the softness that we bring to all of the movements of the form. And even though we're birds, we're geese, it kind of feels like swimming in the air. I guess birds are swimming in the air. Okay. Can do another bow and transition into finding our place for the form. And even if you don't know the form, I encourage you to do as much as you can do. Whatever is interesting to you and you enjoy, go ahead, let yourself play with it. Don't beat yourself up about not knowing all the transitions between everything, but as we're going through the form, enjoy what you can. And if you do want to stop playing along and just watch, then do the close. And yeah, normally I'd say you'd step out of the group practice thing, but you don't have anywhere to step out to. But maybe do the close and some walking meditation. So finding your place, relaxing from the top of the head down through the bottom of the feet, shoulders relaxed, and touching lightly on the palate. Fingers evenly spread, thumbs forward. And begin. Hands down the legs, fingers to the floor, opening to the sky, closing the wings, pushing the wings, setting the wings, and spell. Push, set, and flip Hulu. Up to middle dantian, past the face, top of the head, interlace fingers, pushing up, pushing down on the left side, pushing down on the right side. Rocking forward on the left, rocking back. Claw landing above the collarbone, and macrocosmic orbit. 3 flaps. And right claw connects, left hand macrocosmic orbit. Flap. And left hand comes to middle dantian, rising up, and washing machine. Wave hands like clouds. Fourth one, spiraling around, rinsing the waist. Raise single wing. Palms aligning below the collarbone, and then claw aligning above the collarbone. Dragging moon from water, outer moon, turning around. Dragging moon from water, or look at moon, inner moon, and push to the left. Transitioning to the right, pushing down. The bottom of the third push, beginning to flutter, fluttering up to the sides, and fluttering behind ourselves, leaning forward, looking far, and then flying over water. drinking water. Feet parallel. Land. And shake at lower dantian. Resting and absorbing. Shake. Shake. And then resting again before grasping chi. Nine, 10. Grasping chi palm up. Nine, 10. And curling the fingers, spiraling up past the face. Big ball of chi over to the left. Right hand on top and massage the ball from the left to the right. Turning the ball over, massaging from the right to the left. And back to center. Holding at lower dantian or dragging up. Another big ball of chi. And standing meditation. Coming up. Palms to upper dantian. Pausing at lower dantian before continuing on. Hulu to Huan Tiao. And expel. Claws land on the back and open up and shake. Make some space if you need it for the 7 steps. And pause, absorbing, relaxing. Shaking. Relaxing. Shake. Relax. Bring the arms drop and come forward for the first set of 7 steps, gliding. Then pivoting on heels, fluttering up, and we fly up. fluttering to lower dantian, pivoting on the heels, fluttering up, and searching for food. Six, 7, palm over palm, palm over the knees to lower dantian, pivoting on heels, and building a nest. Twice on the right. Back to center. Pivoting on the left heel, bringing the right heel parallel, fluttering to upper dantian. Fluttering stops as past middle dantian, landing on lower dantian, and sleep. Coming down on the heels, rising up. Fingers pointing to the floor before close. Feet together and walk a meditation. Alright, that is it. Thank you for joining. We can do 3 bows, 1 bow to thank each other for making space, practicing, bringing all of our chi together. Another bow acknowledging our teachers and their teachers, the lineage and the form. And a bow for the earth, the atmosphere, all the space we have to flutter around like geese. So thanks for practicing. I'll either see you Saturday or next Wednesday or next Thursday. If you have any questions, thoughts, insights, excitements, etc., feel free to reach out. And otherwise, enjoy your day. Enjoy your goose gonging around through the rest of life. Bye.